Hey guys, you're listening to your favorite show, hashtag The Blue Mic, where we celebrate independent artists and their great music to us. And independent artists have altogether found a new way for reaching out to us, be it different streaming platforms or being it with us and all the audiences together. So, this is a place where I get to introduce one of a very interesting person who learned about animation, became a musician. Now, who is she all about? Let's get to welcome her. Hi, dear. So, would you love to introduce your name to all our audiences, please?
Hi, Nisha. Thank you for having me. I'm PK. I am Pranati Khanna, and my artist name is PK, and I'm from Hyderabad.
Hi, Praniti. But Praniti, your name being so sweet itself, why did you change it to PK?
So it's really funny because a lot of people that I would introduce myself to, I would say, "Hi, I'm Pranati," and then 5 minutes later, they'd come back and they'd call me Pranita, Pratima, anything except Pranati. And so I was like, and especially like my foreign audience, it's very difficult for them to say my name. So I said, okay, you know what? For everyone's sake, just call me PK.
PK, getting up to you, you learned animation like as I was reading about you. And then you've turned into a beautiful musician. Was that something you wanted to try or things weirdly into your life? Or were you some person who's like, let's experiment everything with life?
So growing up, I think both music and art were always there. I started singing and drawing at the same time. So I studied animation while I was playing pub gigs, um, to kind of raise enough to try and get this fund together to pursue an education abroad. I wanted to go to Parsons, and from animation, it kind of, I think music and art always kind of go hand in hand anyway, and each inspired the other. But I ended up not getting into the animation field at all. I actually went completely into art and design, and the music, of course, stuck on.
Absolutely interesting journey, perhaps. But was it something that someone inspired you into the music when you were there in your school eras, or when you were as a kid, that you also were being a person who was having a family who loved having music around them always?
Yeah, absolutely. My family inspired me to kind of get into music and animation also because so my family also has a lot of art in it. One of my relatives is a very famous Indian art painter. And so we always had art all around us. My grandparents were always talking about art. My parents were always talking about music. So it was just a lot of just in influence from all ends, and guess that's what inspired me to end up becoming choosing what I did career wise eventually.
So eventually, you have both the things in your hand. Art
Yes,
describes you, and music plays within you.
absolutely.
That's quite interesting. So,
Yeah.
Vicky, would you love to sing the first song, whatever you feel like, for the audiences to know, like, what kind of songs you really were singing and now where you have reached up to?
Yeah, for sure. So I can play the first song that I performed back then. One of the first songs I ever wrote and performed live with my band, the Ragamuffins. This song's called Bad Luck. Bad luck's got a way of finding me, creeping up on me like a thief in the night. Gotta watch my back and track you down. Got my mind made up. This is war. Been through this 1,000 times before. Oh, oh, he's going down. Yeah, he's fighting, he's cheating, he's telling me lies. He's smiling away at my sad goodbyes. Oh, oh, he's going down. Yeah, he's aiming at my heart, killer, trying to tear me apart. Sinner, you can never bring me down, I tell ya. He's got me cornered, got me pinned down. I know there's no way out. Hand to my chest, do my best and catch this beast somehow. 'Cause bad luck's always got a way of finding me. I said bad luck's always got a way of finding me. Ooh, I said bad luck's always got a way of finding me. Yeah, bad luck is always got a way of finding me. That's a little bit of the song Bad Luck.
My, but what really inspired you to get actually write up the song Bad Luck? Because I suppose that after you sung this, you must have got all the good lucks coming up to you.
around the time when I started playing with the Ragamuffins, around the same time when I was started, writing music and stuff, my grandmom was diagnosed with lung cancer, and my granddad had been diagnosed with kidney failure. So he was on dialysis like 3 times a week, and I lost both of them one after the other. They're so close they couldn't live without each other. So my grandmom passed away first, and I think about 6 months after my granddad passed away, and I think maybe, and at that point, my relationship was that I was in was also extremely, extremely rocky. So everything was just going wrong at the same time. And I just felt extremely attacked. And okay, so I by faith I'm quite Christian. So like there's all of this whole conversation about, oh, you're being attacked, oh, there's so much stuff going on, oh my god, the devil's trying to attack you. So it was just a lot of just in my years. And my mom is a pastor, so she used to go on saying, oh, the enemy is attacking us. And I would laugh it off, and I'd be like, the enemy, okay. And then I changed that to bad luck, and I said, you know what, whatever we call the enemy, whatever we call bad karma, whatever we call it's just bad luck. And so I just called it bad luck. So if I say bad luck's got a way of finding me, it's whatever you want to call it, karma, you want to call it the devil, whatever it is. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what the song was
Quite
about.
interesting trivia behind the song, basically, PK. So now, as you said that you write your own music, you play your own music. What comes before in your mind? Is it the tune or is it the words?
I think it's the theme, it's the story first, and then I write the poem, so it's the lyrics. And simultaneously, because I'll always have my guitar while I'm writing the lyrics, the tune and the lyrics kind of flow together.
So now, if I had to ask you, PK, what is your specific genre which you would love to people hear about in your songs? How would you define it now?
I think it comes into this fad that everyone's in right now, which is hip hop and R&B. I don't know. I think that stories are being told a lot more elaborately with this genre. I think that
Mm,
everyone's looking for groove and everyone's looking for peace, and somehow this hip hop R&B vibe that's become the trend now has managed so beautifully to kind of capture both emotions and cater that to the people. So I think that that is where I see myself, and because I'm so heavily influenced by jazz, I feel like this is the modern version of what jazz used to be, or jazz was back then. So my genre is definitely pop R&B with jazz influence.
all right. But with that, we would actually love to hear what next you have to us to get us to the playlist of yours so that we get to know more about you, PK.
All right. I'll sing the first song that I released as PK. It's called Good Old Fashioned in Love.
I don't need no sunny skies. I don't need no big supplies. I don't need no fancy cars. Just tiny things in my guitar. Dreaming under the covers. Always, we always gonna be lovers. We dream away, dream, dreaming. You got the sun in your eyes, big, bright, and full of surprise. Wishing on a shooting star. We'll always have rainy skies. I lost my trust, my lust, my false sense of pride. Dreams, my ways, and I dried my eyes. No surprise that I changed my mind, my mind. But you make me feel just like a child. I'm a good old-fashioned in love. You taught me how to turn it all into a smile. Yeah, you my everything now. Dum da da dum bum da da dum bum ba da dum bum ba da bum. Dum da da dum bum da da dum bum ba da dum bum ba da dum.
We can
I love that
definitely will be
music.
hearing this song out here also when you brought it out to us. But speaking like you just said that, you were from Hyderabad. And I actually do not remember having such of my friends from Hyderabad who would have such a kind of a music for them into their lives and talking about much of them because we had much of an indie scene and a folk music which was coming up from every part of the country during our time. So how would you love to tell us about what is Hyderabad all about and how is the music out there which has induced you with such beautiful singing?
Hyderabad actually is the complete opposite of what I am as an artist. I hate to say it, but it's true. I love my city. It's awesome, but it's right now the music scene over here. I think there's like five of us independent artists, and there's like a lot of commercial Tollywood music. Hyderabad as a city, it's very regional music oriented, which is why whenever I have a gig, yeah, there's a lot of support, there's a lot of fun. It's good, but I prefer playing outside of my city for sure.
That's quite an interesting and contrary to what people must have thought about you, PK. So, but PK, like when you grow up, were there any of those kind of singers that really influenced you with your singing and writing?
Tipriti Karbangar, I hope I said her last name right, but Tipriti from Soulmate, the front woman of Soulmate from Shillong. Oh my God, hugely influenced by her voice, by her charisma. Another singer who must have influenced me growing up from here, of course, Usha ji. Love her, and she's just Usha Uthup is just she's a boss.
So, which is a new song, or which is a song you would love to sing for our audiences now, PK?
I think I want to sing a song that I haven't actually put out yet. It's called One Day.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, one day. Yeah, you say you know the answers, but you don't know what to say. Yes, you say you have good questions, but I hear they're all the same. It seems as though you've lost your soul. It sounds a bit like rock and roll. You're angry, but you don't know why. You're lazy, so you sit and cry. I feel a real connection with the girl I used to be. I was stupid, barely lucid, and boy, did I run free. Yeah, you know those times that we were young that we talk about today. Yes, they live inside of us. If only we would let them come out and play. But do you know the reasons behind your worries and the troubles you just can't find? I know that you will be okay. I know that you will have your day. One day, I promise you will have your day. One day, I know that you will have your day. One day. There's a lot more to the song, but that's the gist of it.
Absolutely great. But Vicky, interestingly, you're one of those person who has very well inculcated the art, what you've been learning, the music, what you bring out to be, the sounds which you bring in a perfect videos. So when you sit on a video of yours and when you bring out the song, what do you actually think behind at that time? Is it what kind of a brain does start working of yours? Which end of your brain starts working perhaps? Because you create the music, you write the music, you think about it, you portray it into beautiful videos, everything in one. How does it happen?
Well, I don't know. I've always been a very visual oriented person. I guess that's why I'm in the arts. But yeah, when the second, like I said, when my process is think about the story first, then write the song. So, like for example, Squeaky Clean, when I put it out just now, um, the emotion behind it was I want to start over. I want to start fresh. I want to feel like I was like when I did when I was a kid, when I was a child. I want that same feeling, that fresh feeling of, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to know what's going to happen. I can't wait to grow up. And now that I am all grown up, it's like, I just want to go to bed. But, and I miss that energy. And I want to start my life over in such a way that everything feels fresh again. So, yeah. Um, when I come up with a song, when I come up with it's always a concept. I treat everything like I treat my work. So, I mean, I'm in advertising. So the first thing you do is you think of a campaign and then you think about what goes with the campaign. So I first think of the campaign, which is the concept of the song. And then I start writing the script, which is essentially the song itself, the lyrics, and then the whole production behind it, and then the visual. And everything has to have a theme.
Interestingly. But you've
Yeah.
also been one of those people who went actually on even the TEDx, in fact, and you've been talking about the mental health issues there, specifically for the women
Mm.
now. And interestingly, you had a whole career, a journey of yours, being
Mm.
brought up in a place, growing up at different places, having two different things working at your brain at the same time, right now even working in an advertising agency. Why do you think it is important to talk about the mental health? I mean, like specifically now, when you
Yeah.
are out of the COVID times, you find more and more people talking about it. Why
Mm.
do you think is the need to talk about this issue, and specifically when it comes down to women?
I think women generally, I think you and I can both agree we're way more emotional than men are. And I think because our senses are like 10 times more heightened than men's. Every sense of ours is like way more kicked in than any man's. And so we feel everything 10 times more. Um Women are sensitive, but we're living the same kinds of lives and doing the same kinds of things as men are. And that makes them a lot of the time feel threatened by us. And so the violence against women has increased so much over the years. It's not like when my grandmom was, you know, a homemaker and she had her defined roles and my granddad had his defined roles. It's now I'm wearing the pants, you're wearing the pants. um there's no specific roles over here, and very often men feel threatened by that. And when women and men get into fights now, what's happening is that men are treating women as their equals even in a fight, and that can sometimes turn into, I'll raise my hand on you because you're so strong, right? Like I can even raise my hand at you. And so the reason I started talking about mental health was because I had been in a relationship where I had, experienced a lot of domestic violence of various kinds. And I came out of that with the realization that I wasn't the only woman that was experiencing that. There were a lot of women around me whose stories were slowly coming out. When I spoke up about it, my inbox at that time, it was Facebook. My inbox was filled with women saying, I've been through this too. My husband or my boyfriend or my father or my uncle, I have experienced violence against me. And for a lot of women, some women are strong enough to just brush it off and move on. But for a lot of women, it takes a toll on you mentally. It affects the way you perform as a person in your career, in your day-to-day life, in future as a mother. And so if you don't take care of your mental health today, because women are integral to society. You're going to be someone's mother tomorrow. You're going to be someone's wife tomorrow. If you don't take care of your mental health and address the trauma that you experienced as a young woman today, so many more lives are going to get affected in future. So I started to speak up about mental health. You have to take care of yourself. If you're going to the doctor for your thyroid issues or your back pain, go to the therapist, deal with your trauma, get all your mental issues solved. So yeah, that was where it was from.
So now, when you look up to people and you look up to the people of the Northeast music, because now when your whole conversation is going to be played up into the Northeast zone of ours.
Yeah.
So now, when you hear about the music coming up from the Northeast part of the
Mm.
country, how does it make you feel about it?
The Northeast has always been this absolute melting pot of talent. I'm dying to visit. Um, it never seems to be a good time, but I want to come there so badly at some point. When I was at NH7, I discovered a couple of brilliant new artists, one of them being Dappist. Um, and I was just blown away. I think every time, and his entire band, and I think Leon, who also plays in Soulmate, I think even he was a part of the ensemble, but just the sheer talent that is there is just blows my mind. So yeah, it's amazing to discover new artists from the Northeast and also get to know them. And I hope I can come there someday as well.
All right. So, Peaky, we see many of the independent artists who says that we've got auto tuners these days. We really don't
Mm,
have to have that kind of a riyaz, what classical term have been given
mm,
us. But there are some people who still believe that if you want to learn music, if you want to go in depth of making people hear you heart to heart, you
mm.
need to have a practice of your vocal cord. What do
Yeah.
you have to say on this? Do you get time to also have that riyaz form of yours?
Oh, yeah. I think even if you do twice or thrice a week, you have to do your vocal training. Even if you're singing another song, that's also practice in itself. But you have to you have to do your trills. You have to do all of your do re mi fas. You have to do all of that. You have to.
So, a piece of advice you would love to give to all the independent artists, when they are making music these days, what are those pointers they really need to keep in mind?
Make sure that your production is on point. Don't settle for a song that you're not 100% sure of. Spend time on getting it down right, and make sure it's mixed and mastered by the best of the best. So invest, like keep your money aside, but invest. Don't scrimp on quality.
Hmm. So you feel it's easier to make up the videos these days, or you feel that, if your music is good, even if you come out with a lyrical video, things work for you.
Absolutely. If even if it's a lyrical video, even if you shoot something on an iPhone and put it together and put it on YouTube or even on just Instagram, it's more than enough as long as your audio is crisp and brilliant. Because at the end of the day, people are actually making some pretty sick videos with just like their phones. You don't have to have like a very overly done thing. You don't have to.
So now,
Yeah.
the new songs which you think are going to be bringing out by you are going to be of what kind of a genres? Like, are you going to be experimenting with
Yeah.
something new coming up from your side?
Yeah, they're all going to be very much more even going the more hip hop R&B kind of direction, I would say. Or even lo-fi. Yeah.
So there's something different we're going to be expecting from PK in 2023.
Yep.
Amazing, amazing. In fact, and we are going to be having more of PK out there. And guys, you need to watch out the songs which he's coming up with. Any message you would love to give your fans?
Keep listening to my music. There's so much more where that came from. And thank you for all your support that you've given me so far.
Absolutely. And there'll be more stars and more hearts coming across the way after hearing of all the beautiful music you bring us out in that. Thank you so much, PK, for doing this for
Thank
us.
you. Thank you for having me.